I have made quite a few new improvements to both AquaticLog iPhone and Android applications and the website, and I want to show all of this to you in this video. Here I want to talk about AquaticLog, which is both a website and an app for iPhone and Android that I developed myself. This is something that I've been working on for almost 10 years. I think by the end of this year it's going to be exactly 10 years old. And there's been over 2.5 million measurements taken with the site, and this is something I use daily. So this is being used by tens of thousands of aquarists all over the world, and everything that you see here is what people upload onto the site. So first I just want to show a few improvements to the website itself, and then we can move on to the application. So I have spent a fair bit of time redesigning the home screen. So you can see that both of my aquariums, both systems are right front and center. This is something that you have access to right away. By the way, the service is free for one aquarium. So basically you can have as many measurements or whatnot, except for photos, just because I pay for hosting, but everything else is free. So that's basically the policy here, and it syncs between web and iPhone and Android. Doesn't matter how many devices you use. Okay, so moving on, you've got bird's eye view of all of your aquariums and parameters. So you can see this is kind of where I'm at with my main farm and my treasure reef. You can see that my calcium is a little bit high. You can see that the lines are sometimes a little bit jagged, so I've been having some alkalinity issues with my treasure reef. And if we step into any one of the aquariums, you can actually see that this is the aquarium that I've been running for 3 years and 4 months. Started on February 17. It's 162 gallons. It shows both official and actual volume, dimensions, and basically it just keeps a tag of all of my videos and photos that I post. And this is where I basically just post all of the videos from my YouTube. You can also see all of my measurements, and we'll go into this in a second. Inhabitants, equipment, my routine. But I think the measurements is pretty awesome because you can actually see all of the parameters and you have the full view. So this is my history going all the way back to the beginning of the tank, and I can write comments to each measurement, and basically it just helps me stay on top of that. There is diary, reminder, photo. So basically my reminders are definitely something I use all the time. So, and we'll get into this in a second. But also I can have a list of inhabitants, products, my dosing, my water changes, feeding, and just manual tasks such as cleaning. Now, I don't want to talk too much about my own aquariums, but I want to, as we're going to do this when we look at the app, but I want to show a couple of really awesome things that I've been working on in the summer and early spring. So one, and I had a lot of people ask me about it, is having some kind of level of all of the database of inhabitants. So here we've got the coral, we've got the fish, invertebrate, plants, and this is all built into AquaticLog. So let's say Acropora and Montipora. So I organize it by families. So you've got the Acroporidae family. So if I click on that, you can actually see whole bunch of different corals, and oh, look at that, Walt Disney. So I can click on Walt Disney and it'll tell you I'm still working through putting in like the minimum aquarium, maximum length. This is all done for fish, but not for most coral. Some of it just doesn't even apply. But if you want to help me, you can always press this report a correction button, and then you can tell me, hey Dimitri, I think we are missing this information about this particular species, and I'll update it for you. So basically, really easy, one button, and you can even write a little description that I can always put there. I've also implemented a pretty cool way to have, this is a variant, so you can see it's a corpora tenuis variant Walt Disney, but you can actually click and go to the main tenuis species. And here you can see all the different aquariums that keep Acropora tenuis. So, and by the way, this is really awesome. So you can actually see all of the aquariums, or some of the aquariums. This is only aquariums that are public, because you can also have private aquariums, and see their photos. And basically, let's say I'm interested in going to Walt Disney and I want to actually see this beautiful aquarium. So I'm gonna go there. There are some photos, and let's see. So there's a user, Red Sea Reefer XL42. I can now see not only the levels of calcium, magnesium, salinity, alkalinity. So this is super helpful, because I can learn from this, and I can learn from all other Walt Disneys out there, and it'll help me set it up for myself. Look at that. So this person has very high pH, which probably tells me that that person is very experienced. So really awesome, and it's a bit of a rabbit hole, because I can kind of click back, or I can click on any one of those items. Let's say I want to go to see Rainbow Incinerator, etc., etc. So just walk around and do this. So if we're going to go back, there is a fair bit of different families here, and I want to click on zoanthids. So all different types of zoanthids are going to be here. Now the same goes for product. So you've got different products, and for products I have many brands, and here you can actually see that lately I've implemented something called a review. So you can write a review for any one of the products, and well, let's look at the HANA alkalinity checker, for example. So HANA alkalinity checker, you can see all of the reviews, all of the users, and the cool thing about it is, well, let's see, who is this user? So I can click on Mr. Kevin and go back. I can go on to Nero's, etc. So pretty awesome, as you can actually see that person's aquarium, which is something that one of the reasons I developed AquaticLog is I wanted to learn from other people's aquariums. And if they write a comment and I look at their aquarium and their aquarium looks amazing, well, that tells me something. So currently it's being used by 160 different aquariums. If I click on HANA, I can actually see all other HANA products. So again, pretty awesome. Now, final thing I want to show you, and there's a lot more to explore on AquaticLog, so you can look at the photos, aquariums. I post weekly or monthly features, daily features, and you can explore videos, but I've also put something called stats. So stats is really cool. So I'm really happy about that. You can see there's been 2.5 million, almost 2.5 million measurements done on the site. There's 53,000 aquariums. Now, I've always wondered, what is the average temperature? So if you, amongst all of those aquariums, the average temperature for saltwater is 78.2 degrees, but for freshwater it's 77 degrees. You can also see the average specific gravity, and you can also see that on average, freshwater folks usually change a larger percentage of water per one change than saltwater. which is not surprising because salt water costs money. And I'm going to be adding a lot more statistics here, but this is just something I've put together. So if you have a few ideas on what I can improve for statistics, please let me know if there's some information you want to see. So, and finally for the website, I've actually put together this thing where you can actually see what are the most popular corals. So you can actually see that zoanthids are probably number one, green star polyps, frog spawn, acropora, hammer, torch. So, and if I click on any one of those things, so I can click on hammer, there's over 1,000 aquariums that keep hammer anchor coral. So let's just see all this is all photos that AquaticLog users have been uploading. Now, same goes for the fish. And finally, you can also see, well, what are the most popular salt out there. It looks like the Red Sea is definitely leading the pack. Reef crystals, very popular, instant ocean. I'm still working on some of these algorithms, so there's a lot more aquariums that I need to match, but it's a pretty labor-some process. So if you, for example, have a product that has not yet been recognized, just drop me a line and I'll work on doing that. So you can look at the same for the power heads, and Ecotech and Hyder are definitely, and MaxSpect are out there. Pumps, lighting, and I'll be adding more. So if you want to know like the top bacteria, you will be able to get it from there. So now let's move on and talk about the your on-the-go experience. And I guess one more thing, I have actually painstakingly worked on this site to make it a lot more user-friendly and show better quality photos, larger, better organization. As I said, this aquarium service has been out for over 10 years and I support it. Now, I work both on iPhone and Android applications. The Android application has been rapidly improving, and I spend as much time on Android as I do on the iPhone. So slowly I'm getting it to parity, as prior to that it was lagging behind. I started off only working on the iPhone, I think 8 or 7 years ago, but I'm slowly but surely getting there. So most of these features are available on Android. And please note that all of this, like I said, is free for one aquarium, so there's no limitations. You can have as many measurements or for the functionality, except for photos. So you can have one photo, but then the rest is just paying for hosting. So let's take a look at, and all of this is synced across multiple devices for free. So if you want to access it on the go on the web or on the iPhone, or share it with somebody of your friends or relatives with another phone, just it will all work. So just download the app from Play Store or App Store and you are good to go right away, and you will not lose your data, even if you, for whatever reason, drop your phone into water or acid. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So I have actually spent a fair bit of time improving the interface. Now, the iPhone application especially, but also within Android, everything you can do on the main screen. So if I'm today have my measurements, I have my alkalinity, all I have to do is just click on alkalinity, put in, let's say 7.8, which is not my true alkalinity, but let's just say, and I can just press one button to check it off, and it's gone. And you can see that alkalinity has been entered into the system. So this is very, very handy. If you want something a little bit more elaborate, or if you want to do a one-off, you can just press this purple button here, and you can see I've got a full list. So for example, if you putting in lots of parameters at the same time, you can add it right there. I've also introduced a timer, or you can actually have multiple timers. So you can have a timer for calcium, you can timer for alkalinity, and they will be different. You can change units, so most is DKH, but you can use ppm, or for calcium, same for salinity, you can have parts per thousand. You can do specific gravity. So I'm gonna go back, and now I will go and take a look at some other cool things. So this is my reminders. So you'll see what are the things that I have to do and when. And it's very easy to create new reminders. I can specify what type of reminder. It could be a measurement, it can be a water change, maintenance, dosing, feeding, and whether to repeat it and whether to check it off once you've completed it or just do it on particular days. Now, you also got a list of parameters. And by the way, recently I've added this phosphate nitrate ratio, so you can actually keep track of whether you want 1 to 100, 1 to 16. It's very easy for you to calculate that and see right there. So right now my phosphate of 0.07 and nitrate of 7.7 have this ratio, which is pretty close to 1 to 100. And now if I click here, I will actually be able to see all of my measurements, and you can see where I had some problems. You can specify ranges. So for example, for my alkalinity, this is kind of all of my history, but my average is 8.4 DKH. My range, so this is how much it kind of jumps, is 1.6. My maximum has been 9.1. My lowest was 7.5. This is my target, high, low. The system will tell you kind of what a good point to go for is, but you can actually specify whatever you want. So basically full control, and it's on a per aquarium basis. Now, you can have a list of photos, inhabitants, diary, a list of products, my water changes, dosing, feeding, maintenance. I'm not going to go into detail on each one of them, but more just to show you the overall functionality for this particular aquarium keeping application. So there's many other things here. You can view other people's aquariums. So all of this is different aquariums that exist on AquaticLog, and you can click on any one of the photos and basically explore the information about their particular system if they've made it public. So they can also have it private. Oh, and I think I'm gonna like this photo. You also have kind of top products that you can take a look at. I'm still working on this, and there's going to be some new improvements. And then I can also keep track of different aquariums that I follow. So just a little bit of social. And finally, there is a blog where you can actually see all the announcements. Anytime I do something, I will post it here, and you can just keep track of it. So that's AquaticLog in a nutshell. Let me know if there's a particular feature that you want me to add. I listen to all of your feedback, and I hope that you will continue enjoying the app as it's getting into its second decade. Thank you for watching.